Welcome back to the deep dive. If you work in construction, you know the rhythm. It's high complexity, razor thin margins, and just a notorious amount of paperwork.
That's right. And for decades, the whole process has really relied on sheer human effort to manage all that chaos.
We're talking about general contractors, specialty trade owners, people managing these multi-million-dollar projects with, well, what often feels like a messy mix of spreadsheets and different software that doesn't talk to each other.
And that entire system, that old way of doing things, is just running headlong into a wall of modern complexity. It's at a breaking point.
Our deep dive today is based on a number of industry reports and expert analyses that all point to this massive, quiet transformation that's happening right now.
We're really moving past just collecting data.
Exactly. Past spreadsheets, past basic project management software, and into enabling automated
A
action.
huge shift.
So our mission today is to unpack the systemic limitations of traditional construction management and really explore why adopting AI is no longer optional. It's a strategic necessity.
It really is.
We need to understand how this new intelligence layer can work alongside the tools you already have, how it minimizes that operational drag, and what the real compounding cost is for companies that wait too long.
This is a pivot point for the entire industry. For anyone listening, I mean, the choice you make now really determines if you'll be leading the market or just chasing shrinking margins.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Why are the traditional methods, and I mean relying heavily on paper trails, on manual tracking, on all these siloed software tools, why are they no longer sustainable, especially as projects just keep getting bigger?
That's a fantastic observation, and it brings us right to the core of the issue. It's really a combination of modern scale, these extreme time constraints, and just the sheer volume of coordination required.
So it's not just one thing.
Not at all. I mean,
Yeah.
look at a modern construction project. They become so geographically expansive, so functionally dense, it's just too large, too complex for manual data handling.
Which leads to errors.
It leads inevitably to errors. And those errors become incredibly expensive to fix the later they're discovered.
And when we talk about complexity, it's not just the building itself, right? It's the whole environment. You've got hundreds of subcontractors, designs that are constantly shifting, material shortages.
Precisely. And that dynamic environment just highlights the failure of the old methods to manage time and cost effectively. Manual tracking.
Yeah.
It struggles severely to meet tight deadlines
And maintain budgets.
and maintain budgets. I mean, we know from source material from McKinsey reports that a staggering majority of construction projects face delays or significant cost overruns.
A staggering majority.
And the key thing is, a huge chunk of those delays are from predictable factors, things like poor planning, communication gaps, and just slow internal processes.
So the root problem isn't necessarily the workers on site. It's more of an administrative choke point. We hear the term bottleneck all the time, but can you define what that really means in this context?
It's the ultimate operational bottleneck. Look, the challenge isn't that your teams aren't managing a high volume of tasks. They are. They're experts at it.
Right.
The problem is the lag time. The delays caused by needing a person, a human, to manually follow up on everything.
Give me an example.
Okay, think about a standard submittal. A project manager sends an RFI, a request for information. That RFI might just sit in a queue waiting for an architect's approval.
Right.
Then it's waiting for the GC's internal review.
And then waiting for someone to manually generate a purchase order and send it over to accounting.
Exactly. And every single one of those steps requires someone to remember to check their email, open an attachment, approve it, save it, and then notify the next person in the chain.
And those are hours that project managers should be spending on site.
They're hours they should be spending managing the build, mitigating real risks, not chasing paperwork. Every hour spent on that kind of admin follow-up is literally sacrificing your margin. It's just slower execution, more errors, and resource waste across the board.
So all your systems are in silos, and the human is acting as this inefficient link between them.
That's the perfect way to put it.
That makes perfect sense. So if the human is the inefficient link, we need something that can act as the translator and, I guess, the executor. And this is where the source material introduces AI agents.
Yes.
We're not talking about generalized chatbots here. What are these agents, and how do they solve this specific bottleneck problem in construction?
What's fascinating here is really understanding the conceptual shift. We're moving from just analysis to proactive execution.
Okay.
An AI agent is a software system that's designed to carry out complex tasks on its own independently after you give it a goal. They're fundamentally smarter than simple automation.
How so?
Simple automation just follows rigid, predefined instructions. If X happens, then do Y.
Like a macro in a spreadsheet.
Precisely. It's rigid. An AI agent, on the other hand, can interpret all these incoming data streams from across your different systems. It assesses progress against the schedule, and it can adjust what it needs to do in real time without needing constant clicks from a person.
That adaptability sounds crucial for construction. I mean, no 2 days are the same on a job site.
It is the defining feature.
Yeah.
In an environment where designs shift or a supplier misses a delivery, the agent doesn't wait for a manual trigger. It initiates the follow-up on its own within the parameters and guardrails the project team sets. It's always moving the ball forward.
So let's say a revised set of compliance paperwork comes in. An agent doesn't just file it away.
No, not at all. It reads the document, it tags it for the correct phase of the project, routes it to the necessary trade, it checks if their insurance meets the new criteria, and updates the central project management system.
And if there's a problem.
If it identifies a discrepancy, it immediately flags the project superintendent and sends an automated notification to the subcontractor with specific instructions on what's missing. And it does all of this while you're out of the office.
Wow. Okay, so that proactive execution is exactly the gap they're designed to bridge.
It is. The industry needs fewer reporting layers and just much stronger follow-through. These agents let teams move from having mountains of data to actually taking timely action, and this is key. They do it without requiring a massive, painful process overhaul.
But wait, general contractors have already made huge investments in their existing systems. Expensive accounting software, ERPs, document control platforms. Is the message here that you have to rip all that out and start over?
Not at all, and this is a key differentiator and, frankly, a huge sigh of relief for business owners.
I'm sure.
AI agents aren't meant to be replacements. They function as a layer of, you could call it digital glue. They're integrated intermediaries that sit on top of or in between your existing systems.
So they make the different systems talk to each other.
Intelligently, yes. They communicate with the ERP, the accounting software, the PM platform. They operate within the rules you set, like, say, automatically approving certain purchase orders under a set budget. But they minimize that constant human intervention that's needed to move information around.
So let's get concrete. What does this really mean for the general contractor or, the blue-collar business owner who's listening right now? Where are these agents already doing the heavy lifting?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the immediate application is focused on automating what you call the necessary evils, that low-value but essential busy work.
In the back office.
In the back office and increasingly in the field as well. And this creates immediate, tangible gains in efficiency and compliance.
Okay, so give us some of the top examples that you're seeing in the sources.
Right, so we're seeing rapid adoption in tasks that rely on that constant monitoring and coordination. Automated document management is a huge one. As we were just saying, agents can automatically classify, tag, and route incoming RFIs or submittals to the right person.
Based on the topic or schedule phase?
Exactly. This just wipes out inbox backlog and makes sure critical documents are never misplaced or ignored.
And I imagine that helps tremendously with compliance and financial oversight.
Immensely. Think about cost oversight. An agent integrated with your project financials can spot invoice anomalies. It can cross-reference purchase orders with actual delivery logs and then automate the initial approval up to a certain dollar amount.
That cuts down on manual review time.
Dramatically. And it's the same with compliance. Agents track safety docs, leaning waivers, insurance renewals. If a certificate is about to expire, the system sends out alerts. It can even be set to pause payments to that sub until their paperwork is updated, protecting you from risk.
Those are clear gains for the administrative side. But for the business owner who runs the crews, who worries about the actual build, how do these agents help streamline operations on the site itself?
That's a critical question. Because the agents are now moving beyond the desktop. They're moving into the physical world through IoT and telematics data.
How does that work?
Well, consider equipment management. An agent can monitor the data coming from your heavy equipment, your cranes, your excavators. It compares usage hours against maintenance schedules.
So it knows when a service is due.
And if a piece of equipment is running hot or hits a certain threshold, the agent automatically generates a work order for the maintenance team and alerts the site foreman. It prevents an unexpected, expensive breakdown that could halt the entire site.
Preventing that catastrophic site stop, that is a direct, massive cost saving.
It is. Or another example, materials logistics. Agents can analyze the immediate construction sequence to optimize where materials should be placed on site. They can make sure that the components you need for tomorrow's concrete pour are already staged right next to the work site.
Eliminating that wasted time when crews have to move stuff around.
Exactly. It's not a minor tweak. These things directly impact labor efficiency and the project timeline, which are the main concerns for any business owner.
So the strategic gains here are pretty profound. It's not just about making admin easier. It's about eliminating the friction that hits the bottom line.
Absolutely. The advantages at the executive level are clear. You get fewer internal delays, which helps you maintain schedule discipline. Your managers get to spend their time actually planning and solving problems, not chasing paper.
And you get a better data trail.
A much better one. Every action the AI agent takes is logged and timestamped. That creates a reliable, highly defensible record for any audits or disputes. That's a massive risk mitigator.
The sources are exceptionally clear on this next point. Delaying this adoption isn't just pausing a tech rollout, it's an active strategic risk. So what is the real measurable cost of being an AI laggard in construction today?
That really is the core issue facing executives right now. Delaying this carries strategic risks that don't just add up, they compound over time. They make the gap between adopters and laggards almost impossible to close.
Let's break down that idea of a compounding advantage. How does that actually work inside a construction firm?
Okay, think of it like this. An early adopter starts automating their RFI process today. That process immediately starts feeding massive amounts of their own internal proprietary data back into their AI model.
So the AI is learning from their specific business.
It's learning from every successful RFI routing, every compliance check, every financial approval. Tomorrow, that data allows the agent to move on to something more complex, like predictive scheduling, and do it with much higher accuracy. They're building institutional knowledge into their system.
So the efficiency gap isn't linear. It actually expands exponentially as the AI learns on the job.
That's it, exactly. An enterprise that waits might find themselves falling years behind in capability in just a matter of months. That velocity of displacement is it's frightening for laggards.
And the immediate consequences on the bottom line.
It's measurable margin loss. Your competitors who are using AI are achieving these huge efficiency gains. They're often operating at demonstrably lower costs while delivering better quality and more certainty to the client. Every project you delay implementation on translates directly to lost productivity.
You just can't compete on price or quality in the bid room.
It becomes extremely difficult. And this connects directly to the talent deficit we're all facing. The top talent, your best engineers, your best site superintendents, they are naturally drawn to employers who are using modern, efficient tools.
Nobody wants to work with frustrating, outdated software.
Of course not. So companies that delay, they risk losing their best people to more innovative organizations.
And we're also seeing a really rapid shift in who even gets the job, and it's being driven by the clients themselves.
Yes, the RFP, the request for proposal, is changing. Fundamentally, clients are now starting to include AI capabilities like automated compliance tracking or predictive scheduling as non-negotiable requirements.
It's becoming a standard requirement.
It's moving from a nice-to-have to a must-have. Without being able to demonstrate you have a modern automated system, you're going to struggle to compete for new business.
Which means the old argument of, let's just wait for the technology to fully mature, that's a strategic mistake.
It's a fallacy. It's waiting for a perfect time that will never come.
Yeah.
Technology just accelerates. It doesn't wait. It's just like the firms that held off on moving to the cloud. They eventually struggled and had to pay massive catch-up costs.
So you have to start now.
You have to adopt this iteratively. You start learning through practical implementation now to build that institutional knowledge. A smart, risk-aware deployment that starts small and builds complexity will always beat waiting for some mythical risk-free scenario.
So to summarize this deep dive, the traditional construction model is clearly breaking down under the pressure of project complexity, tight pricing, and the compliance load. AI agents offer this critical operational intelligence layer. They automate routine execution across all your existing tools, which frees up your managers to actually manage and ensures that all that data you're collecting leads to timely action.
And delaying that adoption is just sacrificing margins and losing your competitive edge.
An edge that's built on these compounding efficiency gains.
The issue is no longer about having access to data.
Mm-hmm.
Every firm out there has piles of data. The critical question for you to consider is whether the data you have will lead to timely action.
That's a great point.
AI adoption is not fundamentally a technology decision. It's a strategic decision about your process efficiency and ultimately about your survival in an increasingly efficient market.
That is a powerful and, I think, a necessary truth for this industry right now. We'd encourage you to look at your own operations and identify where you are letting the necessary evils of paperwork and manual follow-up slow down your speed of execution. The time to decide to learn, to start small, and to build that institutional knowledge is absolutely now.